Hi, friends. Yesterday during worship, we celebrated All Saints' Day. We remembered loved ones who have died in the past year, and we shared the sacrament of Holy Communion. Today, I want to reflect briefly on the significance of pairing remembering the saints with celebrating the sacrament. As you know, the sacrament of Holy Communion was instituted by Jesus when he shared his Last Supper with the disciples. That supper was a Passover meal. The Passover was, and continues to be, but I'm going to talk about it in the historical context. The Passover was a remembrance of God's mighty acts of salvation through Moses. It's when the Hebrew people celebrated that God cared enough and God was powerful enough to deliver them out of the seemingly impossible situation of their slavery in Egypt. It was really important for the Hebrews to have this touchstone of the reality and the presence of God, especially when they had a difficult time perceiving God's work among them, like when they were traveling in the wilderness for 40 years before entering the Promised Land. When Jesus celebrated the Passover meal with his disciples, he invited them to see the new acts of salvation that God was working through him. The acts of salvation that were unfolding right before the disciples' eyes. And he gave them this tangible way to remember and to celebrate his presence and his work among them. Now that was important because the future that the disciples faced was uncertain and fearful. They were facing the cross and the tomb. They were facing resurrection too, but then there was persecution after that. And so there were going to be times of uncertainty and fear and doubt and failure. And in those times, Jesus wanted them to have this touchstone of the reality of his presence and power with them. We are no strangers to fear, discouragement, uncertainty, and doubt. From the pandemic to the election to deep divisions over many issues, we know what it's like to face a difficult road ahead. I want to acknowledge today that grief elicits some of those same emotions. When we miss someone whom we love who has died, it can be difficult for us to perceive God at work, to make decisions, or to look forward to the future. Grief can cause us to doubt. Sorrow can throw our world into chaos. Going on without someone whom we love can feel like an impossible situation. But remember, God is famous for getting his people through impossible situations. From bondage to Pharaoh, to death on a cross, to sadness in our hearts, God has a way of working freedom and life and joy. When we are feeling anxious, overwhelmed, uncertain, afraid, or any of those other emotions, it's important for us to have a touchstone of the reality in the presence of God. And Holy Communion provides us with exactly that. In its connection with the Passover meal, Holy Communion reminds us of God's power in the Exodus. In its connection with the Last Supper, Holy Communion reminds us of God's real presence in the bread, in the cup, and in the person of Jesus. In its connection with the community of faith, Holy Communion reminds us of God's love and care in the persons who also gather around the table. Whatever is causing you anxiety or discouragement or fear these days, I want you to know that God is real. God cares deeply. And God holds out to us a future with hope. Thanks for listening. I'll see you again tomorrow.